Mostly coming from Heroes of the Storm. I was fortunate enough to get into the alpha part of the Heroes of the Storm completely by chance. I didn't like know anyone at Blizzard or anything like that. I literally just checked my email one day and was like, "Congratulations!" And I've been a big Blizzard fanboy, as most gamers have been for most PC gamers have been for most of my life. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm a big MOBA guy and whatnot." I've always kind of been like, "Hey, I think I might be able to cast," because I've always been in liked communication and at one point in my life, I wanted to do acting and theater and stuff like that, and I love that whole medium of communication as it relates to the entertainment industry, specifically esports. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna get maybe just try this out and see what happens. So I got into Heroes. There were a couple of very basic community tournaments that were going on at the time because it was an alpha, and as alpha games are, there is only so much infrastructure to go off of inside of the game. And so I took some replays, I casted them, I threw them on YouTube. I posted it on Reddit, which was very scary, but I did it. The Heroes of the Storm subreddit. And literally that day, I had 2 or 3 people messaging me like, hey, we are going to do a tournament, or this is tournament organizers came to me and I really liked your casting. And it kind of pretty much took off from there. I mean, I did Heroes for about 2 years with varying levels of a success, depending on what point in time in that time frame. And now with Paragon is I like to think that Heroes of the Storm was like my starter job. Like that was my foot in the door, and Paragon I'm putting a lot of focus into and hopefully make something a little bit more serious. Compared to other MOBAs that I was involved with at the time, mainly Heroes, it just was everything that frustrated me through other titles that I was involved with. Paragon just had down already. They had infrastructure like Paragon TV. They had the community events. They had transparency through the community. I talked about how Notch told me about it, but then actually physically saw how Epic is interacting with the community, how much priority and value they put into the community, and it just blew me away. That's pretty much, without going too much of a tangent, that's pretty much the biggest reason is Epic's involvement. Yeah, there's definitely a balance there. I mean, ultimately, when it comes down to it, it's their game. They're the developers. They're the ones with the vision as to what mechanics they want to see, what's ultimately how they see the game developing.
Yeah.
They're the ones who have control over that. They're the ones with the trademarks and the intellectual property. It's their decisions to make. But yeah, there's definitely a middle ground between we're the developer, this is our vision, versus the community is important. What input do they have that will help us form the vision we have for this game? So I think it's optimized very well considering how demanding of a game it is hardware-wise for PCs and obviously for PlayStation 4. The balance of the game is obviously not perfect, but again, looking at it in a relative perspective to other games when they were in their state, the balance is pretty good when it comes to Heroes. The Heroes are coming out consistently every 3 weeks. There's just a lot of things that the health of the game in its current state exceeds expectations by I think most people. It kind of already is happening. We have people who are on PCs, towers, desktops, whatever you want to call them, but are using an Xbox controller. There is already that kind of cross between the two platforms. You see the Steam box, which is for all intents and purposes a PC, but you plug it into your TV. You use a keyboard and mouse. You can use a Steam controller. There's already starting to become that divergence between those two platforms. When that will happen, I have no idea. I'm not in that business. Again, I'm just kind of looking into the future here. So with that being said, I think what Epic is doing with the cross-platform, looking at it how it is right now in the present, I think that there's bound to be problems. Anytime you do something like this, cross-platform is not unheard of. Obviously, Smite, a couple other Division, I think did it too. Obviously, there's a lot of other titles that have done it. But when it comes to cross-play, there's bound to be things where there's going to be problems. I think that it's going to be a group effort between the community and Epic themselves to get the foresight to find out what that is. But you can have all the foresight in the world when it comes to uncharted territory. You're going to hit bumps, you're going to hit problems, and it's I think Epic, with the attitude that they have, will have no problem dealing with any bumps or problems that may arise between the. I mean, obviously, I'm talking in very broad strokes here. A balance between PC and PS4, control problems, bugs that will affect PS4 that won't affect PC. Talking about professional events later down the line. Are events going to be allowed? Can we have PS4 players versus PC? Will it be fair? Can we have teams that are some on PS4 platforms, some on PC, and they're, three PC players with two PS4 players within the same booth in a public platform? Like, is that going to be okay for the health of the game? Will it be balanced? Well, there's a lot of questions that go into this, looking down the pipeline of what's happening. I like that Epic is not afraid to do this. I think they're going. I'm not sure why they're doing it, but from my perspective, is I think maybe I'd like to think that they see the future of PC and console, making eventually it's going to be more and more obscure, the difference between the two. And I think that it hopefully will motivate more developers to do the same. I think on a marketing side, it's genius. You, by opening yourself up to console, you're automatically, I don't want to say doubling, but the amount of exposure.
You're expanding the possibility. Yeah, you're expanding the possibility.
So the crossplay, I think there's going to be problems with it, but I'm not worried about it. I think that it will. The good that comes out of it will far outweigh the problems and the bumps in the road that are bound to come. To be honest, I think that there will be one favored over. I hate to say this, but just being perfectly objective about it, I think one will be favored over the other, and another one will kind of be like the bastard stepchild of the two. The dude, Another Notch, has the best work ethic when it comes to streaming of any. Not only the best work ethic when it comes to streaming, but just the work ethic as a whole of anyone that I've ever met in my life. The dude he has had an enormous amount of obstacles in his life, which would have caused me and other people to be like, all right, I gave streaming a shot, but I'm going to give up on it. That dude is persistent, maybe to a fault. I don't know. I guess you can call it being stubborn, but that he has such a strong work ethic, and he has such a passion for streaming and such a drive and motivation to accomplish his dreams that it's inspirational and motivational for myself. So that's a big reason why I think, just as a streamer, he could be streaming any title and he'll always be one of my favorite people to watch because of that fact.